In this video, we're going to be talking about the newest, most revolutionary bi-LED headlight for your Jeep Wrangler, introducing the Morimoto Super7. The Super7 bi-LED headlight is like nothing you've ever seen before. It's a bi-LED modular projector customizable headlight housing. The way it works is it comes in two components. You have the internal MLED bi-LED projector from Morimoto, and then the outside system to hold it in place designed for a Jeep Wrangler. Now, it's designed for the Jeep Wrangler headlight housing, but it'll technically fit any 7-inch round headlight. That's PAR 56, H6024 seal beam, or anything else that uses a headlight housing like the Jeep Wrangler. It's really interesting because you can paint or modify the outer shroud, you can etch a logo in the projector, you can add a halo or a demon eye, and when it's all said and done and totally customized to your liking, it's going to be one of the best and brightest LED headlights out there for your Jeep. In this video, we're going to talk about what comes in the product when you order it from the website and how to put it together. It's a little involved, so we're going to walk you through the steps, give you some tips and tricks, and then also show you just how bright it is compared to the stock headlight and some popular competitors. In order to build your Super7 LED headlight, you're going to need some tools. Yeah, that's right, you have to build your headlight. It comes in several components that are not put together because remember, it's designed to be customized. You're going to need a set of Allen wrenches and a set of screwdrivers. When you order it, you're going to get several boxes. The first two boxes are your projectors. It's the Morimoto MLED bi-LED projector. You get the driver system and you get the projector. So yeah, you have to first put together your projector, and each piece sandwiches together and holds the MLED projector inside. Now if you want to add a halo, you do it right now before you assemble anything. They recommend the 80mm profile performance LED halos. Now adding a halo isn't quite as plug and play as the rest of the project. If you want to do a demon eye or a halo, it's just as custom as any other retrofit. Now the halos have little mounting tabs just like for any other retrofit, so you may or may not use those. It's really a custom install. You can secure them with wire with the mounting tabs or epoxy the whole thing down, and then you have to figure out your own way to let the wiring escape. Now you don't need to do a halo, it's totally optional. This large braided cable is the control cable for the projector that resides inside the headlight housing. It will connect externally to the driver that plugs into your vehicle, so you pass it through the bottom side of the headlight housing, use the rubber grommet to seal the hole, and then the cable plugs into the projector. Once you plug in the cable to the projector, you have to route the cable through the slot in the heatsink. As you can see, some of the heatsink fins are missing, specifically so the cable doesn't bind. Line up the projector so that it can rest down inside the bucket of the housing, and then we can mount the projector to the housing. The first step is to remove the 4 screws that hold the bracket in place for the projector lens. You take these 4 Allen screws out so that we can gain access to the mounting holes on the top of the projector to mount it to the bucket. When the 4 screws are removed, gently set aside the bracket to expose the face of the inside of the projector. Here you can see the 2 holes for the mounting of the projector to the housing. But first we need to secure this top face of the projector to the body of the projector so everything goes in place. We're going to use 2 of the original 4 mounting screws from the projector lens bracket. We just took these off a second ago. So put a couple of them back in to secure the body of the projector together while we're mounting it to the bucket. Make sure they're snug so the projector assembly stays tight, and then we can start lining up everything for the 5 mounting screws. On the bottom side of the bucket, you have 3 screw holes. The top 2 are near the triangle symbol. When you're done with your assembly, that triangle symbol should be pointing up. We found that the 2 top screws are better suited to use 2 washers, and the bottom single screw for the projector mounting of the bucket uses a single washer. In this demonstration, you can see we're holding it upside down. The cable is facing up, and the 2 screws that are together are facing down. This is inverted of how the final assembly would look. Go ahead and get started tightening the 3 screws on the back. You want to leave them a little bit loose so that there's some wiggle room on the top for these 2 mounting screws. Get the 2 mounting screws on top installed, halfways, and then snug all 5 up. 2 on the top and 3 on the bottom. If you'll remember, we removed the projector bracket by taking off those 4 screws. Then we reused 2 of them to hold the inside of the projector together during the mounting assembly. Let's take those 2 screws back off and reinstall the projector lens bracket. The black plastic bracket mounts back in place exactly how it came off, and then reassemble it with those same 4 screws that came off originally. Line up the 4 screw holes, get them started gently by hand, and when all 4 have been started, finish it up by tightening all 4 screws. Now that the back half is done, let's focus our attention on the front. The clear lens mounts to the black plastic shroud with an O-ring in between. This rubber gasket has holes in it to line up with the screw holes that mount the shroud to the lens, so get everything lined up. Line up the shroud screw holes, the rubber gasket screw holes, and the plastic lens screw holes all together. Before you tighten everything down, make sure that the Morimoto and DOT logo on the plastic lens line up with the triangle symbol on the backside of the black plastic shroud. When everything's lined up and snug, without any wrinkles in the rubber gasket, secure the screws through the shroud into the lens in a star pattern. The last step is to secure the completed rear section of the housing to the front section of the housing. As you can see on the mating surface, there's a series of threaded inserts. So first you line up the rubber gasket with those threaded inserts, and then you sandwich the 2 pieces together. Make sure the screw holes line up all the way from the rear bucket through the gasket and into the black plastic shroud at the front. Now, getting the screws through that rubber insert can be kind of tough. That is a watertight seal, and you might have some difficulty forcing the screws through for the first time. So be careful, have patience, and don't be afraid to use a little muscle. Start each screw, and then when they're all lined up and started, you can go around and tighten them all. When the 2 halves are connected, you also have to put on the moisture vents. Locate the 2 ports on the top side of the bucket of the housing. These moisture vents in black plastic simply pop on over the top of those ports. This is what keeps condensation out of your headlight during temperature changes. Once you have the entire Super 7 assembly completed, all that's left in order to hook it up to your JK is the anti-flicker harness. We have a couple connectors coming off the driver. Right here they say low beam, high beam, and projector. So the projector cable goes into the headlight housing. The low beam and high beam go to your anti-flicker harness that connects directly to your original headlight wiring. You have the H13 connector on your anti-flicker harness that matches the pin configuration on your original bulb. So this plugs in exactly where your old headlight bulb plugged into your Jeep. On the face of the anti-flicker harness, it says low beam and high beam, and you connect the corresponding wires coming out of the anti-flicker harness to the corresponding cables on your LED driver. Match your low beam out from the anti-flicker to the low beam in on the driver, and same with high beam. At this point, your Super 7 LED headlight is ready to connect to your Jeep Wrangler. If you want to hook this up to a vehicle other than a Jeep Wrangler, instead of selecting the JK H13 anti-flicker harness, you just get the regular H4 style connector like you'd find on a traditional 7-inch round sealed beam. Powered by a 25 watt CSP style LED chipset, the light shines through a 3-inch Curia optic clear lens with a curved projector cutoff shield to produce a super wide and focused beam pattern. This light has a 9 to 36 volt DC input voltage and 10,000 hours rated lifespan. The rear housing material is powder coated cast aluminum. The front housing material is injection molded plastic. The lens is made from UV treated polycarbonate, and each headlight produces 2,970 lumens according to Morimoto. The LEDs produce a 5900K cool white color, and the system uses stainless steel screws and hardware with fitted silicone seals. The Morimoto Super7 is DOT approved and comes with a 5-year warranty. The way we're going to do this test is set up the original halogen headlight at 25 feet, the Truck-Lite LED headlight at 25 feet, the 8700 headlight from JW Speaker at 25 feet, and the new Morimoto Super7, all at 25 feet with the same power supply and the same camera settings. We're then going to use a digital lux meter and measure the maximum brightness in lux at this distance. The original halogen headlight on low beam made only 420 maximum lux in the brightest spot on the headlight. You can see the width, you can see the color and intensity, and now we can compare that to the other LED headlights for comparison. Our first LED competitor is the tried and true Truck-Lite 27270C. As you can see, it's got a wider beam pattern than the original headlight. It's more white colored and significantly brighter. The Truck-Lite LED headlight comes in at 930 maximum lux in this test. Up next, we have the JW Speaker 8700J. This one comes in at 990 maximum lux at the brightest point of the hotspot, which is brighter yet than the Truck-Lite competitor. You can see it's a totally different beam pattern than Truck-Lite, with a more defined hotspot in the center and a lot more colors from top to bottom. The Morimoto Super7 bi-LED headlight comes in at a whopping 1,830 maximum lux at the brightest point in the hotspot of the beam pattern. This is almost twice as bright as the JW Speaker 8700 Evolution 2, but it's different. The intensity seems to be more focused in one spot. The color is different, and I'm not sure it's quite as wide, but it is brighter. Notice that the hotspot isn't so concentrated at the top of the beam pattern as the JW Speaker. The JW Speaker 8700 seems to have a more focused hotspot, and it's wider, but the Morimoto Super7 is definitely significantly brighter and has different color variations. The other thing to point out with the Morimoto Super7 is the trademark M logo on the bottom of the beam pattern. This is indicative of the M LED bi-LED projector used inside. When you switch the Morimoto Super7 to high beam, you get the entire intensity and beam of this projector down the road in this incredible display of lighting power. There's a lot that goes into building these headlights for your vehicle, but trust me, it's worth it. When you're done, you're gonna have one of the coolest, most customized, and brightest LED projector headlights for your build. If you want more information and pricing, more pictures, you can check out the link in the description below the video and find more Jeep Wrangler lighting products at our website, headlightrevolution.com. Thanks for watching.